If you are just tuning in, this is Montreal Roller Derby's first ever junior derby tournament. The Montreal team, the Rhythm and Blues from Montreal, playing against the girls in purple, Toronto Junior Roller Derby, excuse me. The Rhythm and Blues are up right now, 116 to 72. We are doing gear checks, and we should be ready for the action right about now. There's a fairly decent crowd out here today to come and see the first ever junior derby out here in Montreal. A little bit less than there was last night to watch the Skids play Philly. But interestingly enough, you can definitely see how the junior derby girls are influenced by their big sisters, the new Skids, and a lot of the other home teams that are here in Montreal.
And I'm also back. 116, 172, 29 minutes left. First jam of the second period. Roadrunner is out first. Lee Gemmer quickly followed by Hailstorm. And guess what, Rev? Holy crap, we have ourselves a Gemmer race. Holy crap, the world's most amazing breakfast cereal. And starts off with a 0-0. Gem number 1 complete here. There's more and more people slowly trickling in.
It definitely seems like the hipsters have woken up now that it's around 12 o'clock.
Yes, the brunch is over.
Yeah, the brunch is over, so since they're not selling booze here, you will definitely not see a lot more people, but there are definitely a lot of moms and dads here cheering on their daughters and a few sons out there to play Montreal Roller Derby's first ever junior derby tournament.
And Club El Paso is the first one out. Art Attacker is behind her, almost got nailed there. Somebody coming out of the penalty box. Club El Paso is Lee Jammer. Not paying attention here as Art Attacker is also scoring, so that negates it. 4-4, that's like a 0-0. El Paso choosing an outside lane and now using 50 seconds to gain the 4-0 advantage again. So a 8-4 jam. 124-76, 28 minutes left. Jam 2 in the box. In the books, the stats books.
Interestingly enough, if you are interested in watching your son or daughter play junior roller derby, you can send them to the Taz every Saturday. They have to be between ages 11 and 18. And you can contact Tank or Homer, and you can send your daughter or son to come play roller derby. We actually have a co-ed team here in Montreal for junior derby because we don't have a junior men's team, but soon we'll be starting up a junior men's team.
And FBI, meanwhile, is lead jammer and scoring. And El Skeletto is finally out. And not before FBI grabs 5 points. Coming on her second scoring pass. And calls it off. Collecting 3 more. And 3 for Montreal. Current score 126-84 for the Rhythm and Blues of Montreal against the Toronto Apocalyptic Chicks. So two from Toronto in the box, 2 blockers in the box. Roadrunner for Montreal chooses an outside lane, comes out clean, and lead jammer. And Hailstorm is jamming for Toronto, half lap behind. Roadrunner already up on scoring, chooses an outside lane, and calls it 4-0. 131-84, 26-12 left. Jam 4 on the clock. Hopefully for you folks at home, your sound has been solved. Your sound issues have been solved. And you can enjoy a clean sound, undistorted. It's Claude El Paso. Claude El Paso is out first. Lee Gemmer quickly behind by Art Attacker. And we have ourselves a Gemmer race. A holy crap Gemmer race. The world's most amazing breakfast cereal. And Claude El Paso calls it just before Toronto Art Attacker hits the pack, but she does collect 1, so 3 for Montreal, 1 for Art Attacker. 1 point, that could be the difference at the end of a game.
Taking the jam line again for Toronto is number 0, FBI.
Had a successful jam last time. And Crash Trooper for Montreal. 134.85, 24 minutes left, or just under 23. And Crash Trooper is out first. And we have ourselves another jammer race. Coming into the back pretty hot. They both get through, and I believe Toronto will come up with more points there. 4-4, so an even jam.
Definitely an interesting game by far. I mean, the point deficit is not what you would see for a WFTDA team. But with the girls who, this is their first ever game, definitely doing a great job out there.
And 138-89, 24 minutes left. Jam 6, second period.
I want to say the average age of this pack right now is probably 14. The average height is probably about 4'5".
And Roadrunner is out first, Lee Gemmer. And Misfit is being told to come back into the track. As she thought that she was being penalized. It's not the case. And now that was her opening pass, so she had to do a complete lap to get her opening pass as she was skating outside most of the time. Roadrunner already scoring and calls it 4-0. 146.89. 23 minutes left on the clock. I'm wondering if anybody would be close to ejection. Lots of trips to the box today.
Definitely a lot of trips to the box, but the box has not been full. So I think that both teams are doing a really good job playing very clean. I mean, they're picking up some penalties here and there, but it's definitely a clean game.
And the skate of emergency is your lead jammer, but Claude El Paso is in front of her. A 4-4 situation here. And wisely calls it off. 150.93. We have El Skeletto jamming for Montreal. And Fight of the Concords for Toronto. And Fight of the Concords is out first, and Lee Jammer. El Skeletto caught at the back. Art Attacker sent to the box on a low block.
FBI doing a great job just stopping number 4, El Skeletto, for the Montreal.
And El Skeletto is finally out. And Flight of the Concords. Flight of the Concords as the lead jammer and calls it off, so 4 points. Bringing them up to 97, 150 to 97, exactly 21 minutes left in this game. Roadrunner. And Kamikaze Cupcake jamming 1 and 2. Roadrunner is the lead, but Kamikaze comes up first. She chooses an outside lane. Skates clean. They both get out clean. Roadrunner doing some jammer on jammer action, knocks her out. 4-4.
Going absolutely wild here for this jammer on Jackson. Number 13, Roadrunner from Montreal, holding back the Toronto jammer right now. Doing a great job booty blocking her, slowing her down.
And knocks her down.
Hits her down. Roadrunner takes a few steps. Roadrunner is your lead jammer.
That's 2 to beat. Kamikaze coming up on score. Roadrunner goes down and gets called on a back block major. So power jam for Kamikaze now.
Let's see if Toronto can maximize this and try and shorten that deficit right now. Right now the score is 154 to 101.
And they break the century mark. 154, 105 now.
They've definitely got the time to do it, and it looks like they only have one blocker in the box. But Montreal is doing a tremendous job just holding back that jammer.
And Kamikaze comes out with another 5 points. However, she's given a back block major and sent to the box. Wondering why.
So now we're going to play musical chairs with the jammers, and Roadrunners get free, and she's going to take the pack again. It looks like they're doing a very confusing sausage offense. They're all kind of dancing on the track.
Roadrunners back out.
Montreal doing the sausage, the conga line, however you want to call it.
Misfit trying to hold back Roadrunner, but there is no pack. Now there is a pack. And 1 second left in the jam. Jam expires. Roadrunner picked up 5. And Kamikaze had 5 points. So 159, 111, 18 minutes left. Jam 10 in the books. Kamikaze Cupcake is standing in the box right now, and she will be your jammer for Toronto. And that's Claudel Paso for Rhythm and Blues. And Kamikaze comes in just in front of Claudel Paso. Oh, and a major collision there. I'm surprised that that's not a back block on Claudel Paso, as it definitely did impact Kamikaze. Claudel Paso is out again.
Well, this is definitely roller derby. I mean, there's definitely a lot of contact here, and you can expect to get hit. And, these are the future stars of roller derby you're watching right now, so they could definitely take a hit. And I can only imagine what's going to happen in 5 to 6 years when a lot of them turn 18 and they try out for WFTDA teams.
And again, Claudel Paso very close to getting a back block.
Looks like there was a bit of confusion. The pivot panty for Montreal fell on the floor, and the pivot didn't know if she could pick it up or not, so they just kind of left it on the floor right now.
So 168, 115 is the current score. 50 seconds left in this jam. Claudel Paso is in control, as she is lead jammer. Kamikaze comes inside, a clean 4. And Claudel Paso with the assist of one of her blockers. So they're just trading points, probably killing clock time as well.
Well, it looks like they've definitely freed all of the skaters out in the penalty box out. And now it looks like Old El Paso is just kind of killing the clock right now. Montreal doing a really good job with clock management.
Lots of crazy action going on. Kamikaze Kamikaze is not enjoying this jam.
No, Kamikaze is gone down. The referee's going to call it jam.
I think she may be winded. They're bringing out her asthma pump.
Once again, folks, for those of you who are watching at home, this is Montreal's first ever junior roller derby bout. This is roller derby. It is a full contact sport. The juniors do hit each other. They do play exactly the same way and train exactly the same way that their big sisters do. Kamikaze Kitten gets up. It looks like she's okay. And we will be back to the action in a very short time. 176 to 119 the score. 60 minutes left in the game. Both teams definitely doing a tremendous job, just playing very strategic, playing very, very smart roller derby. You can tell that they've been influenced a lot by both teams, the Montreal team and the Toronto team.
So the score has been updated to 180 to 119. No, it's, what do you say? What's the opposite of updated? Downdated? Now it's been downdated to 176, 119. Is that a word?
I don't think it's a word. I think
it's a word now because I just said it. Straight to Wikipedia. What Johnny said.
There's probably a French translation for it.
Yep.
Downgraded, I think, is the word you were looking for, but we'll go with that.
We'll go with that.
So back to roller derby action here in Montreal. Montreal's first ever junior roller derby bout. Cole Del Paso, Olay, for the Montreal team, takes the jam line. She's been doing an amazing job out there jamming. She is also one of the younger players on the team. I think she's only 12 years old.
And that's Hailstorm jamming for Toronto.
El Skeleto with a, it looks like a false start that he got called for. Skates all the way to the back of the pack.
Trips on her own. Tripped on her own blocker there.
Toronto jammer out first. Hailstorm. She's going to hit the pack. It looks like El Skeleto is stuck in the pack right now. Oh, it looks like El Skeleto is out on a track cut major. So Hailstorm is going to be out there jamming unopposed right now for what looks like Toronto is going to maximize for a power jam and try and chip away at some of the points that are up there.
5 points so far on her first scoring pass.
Hailstorm through for another 5-point grand slam for a much-needed 5 points for Toronto.
10 points so far.
Slowly chipping away at that score. Now it looks like it's only a 46-point lead for Montreal.
176, 130 for 15 minutes left, halfway through the second period.
Hailstorm hits the back of the pack. She gets stuck behind some amazing blocking by the Montreal blockers.
Gets knocked to the inside. Oh, that's a nice blocker takeout there.
Hailstorm for another 5-point grand slam.
That's Susie Bruce.
El Skeleto's out of the penalty box. He comes around to hit the back of the pack and falls down, gets up really quickly. He's at the back of the pack right now.
He's also
trying to find his way through.
He's on his opening pass, is he not?
Yeah, this is his initial pass. And Toronto calls a jam for which was a very, very much needed power jam for them. Montreal does the smart thing and they call a timeout to kind of unwind a little bit and try and take the steam out of Toronto so they can't come back. You're looking at a 36-point lead right now for the Rhythm and Blues.
At 176 to 140. is the current score. El Skeleto is Tank's.
El Skeleto is Tank's son.
Tank's son?
One of the many sons that he has. I think he has 4 sons and a 5th one on the way. So Tank actually has a pack right now. So that by the time all of his kids hit 11 years old to 18, they will actually probably be out there playing as a family, as a pack.
There you go.
Tank, one of the coaches for the Rhythm and Blues, is also one of the skaters for the Montreal, the Montreal men's team here in Montreal, as well as Homer Jency, who is also one of the skaters for the Mountain Royals here in Montreal.
So we'd like to remind you that our broadcast today is brought to you by the generosity of AMJ Productions out of Vancouver. AJ, thank you. As well as Holy Crap Cereal, the world's most amazing breakfast cereal. Check them out at holycrap.ca. Such a good cereal that it fed the astronauts up in the International Space Station, Chris Hadfield, recently. So it's worth checking out, holycrap.ca. Do not eat it unless you want to change your life.
Oddly enough, it will give you a holy crap when it finally leaves your body.
Very possibly.
So back to destroying the French language. Le Montreal Roller Derby existe depuis octobre 2011 et l'équipe de le Rhythm and Blues pratique le samedi matin au Taz. Le Roller Derby Junior est ouvert aux jeunes filles 11 et 18 ans et les garçons sont invités à pratiquer avec nous pour...
Éventuellement.
Thank you very much. My French is horrible. Who am I going to lie?
Oh, your French is great.
I'm not going to lie. So what that means in English is that if you have a son or daughter between the ages of 11 and 18, they are welcome to come to the Taz Saturday mornings and practice with the Rhythm and Blues. The Rhythm and Blues, Montreal's first ever junior derby team.
And meanwhile, FBI here is the lead jammer for Toronto, and Montreal giving all kinds, Toronto giving all kinds of trouble to Roadrunner. FBI is already on her scoring pass as Roadrunner has not completed her initial, and FBI takes the outside lane, 5. And Roadrunner finally out.
FBI doing a great job today, both as a jammer and a blocker, being a really, really persistent blocker out there in the pack. Playing really smart. Looks at the coach, looks at the bench, looks for the call, figures out what to do, fighting her way through.
And Toronto still giving trouble to Roadrunner again on an opening, and it looks like a cut track. They did get the cut.
So Toronto will be on another power jam.
Fight of the Concords provoking a cut there. So a power jam for Toronto.
Once again, 70s Foxy Lady being really, really persistent on the Toronto jammer. Toronto's going to call it and try and maximize on another power jam.
FBI had enough. She should get 5 there unless it was a point illegal one. Oh, and then there comes up the 5. There's the thumb. So 178 to 150. And another power jam here as Skate of Emergency will be jamming for the Apocalyptic Chicks out of Toronto. Roadrunner seemed dejected in the box. And
Skate of Emergency out as lead jam for Toronto.
slight collision there at the back between Candy Payne. Candy Payne and Cherry Bomb.
Skate of Emergency blows through the pack for a quick 5-point grand slam for the Apocalyptic Chicks. Toronto really good at doing a good job maximizing on these power jams today.
And 178, 155. And Skate of Emergency, a little skip. A mini apex jump. Another 5 points. 178, 160. Roadrunner is standing. Skater emergency again on another scoring pass. Roadrunner is out of the box, but this is her opening pass. Comes through clean. Oh, and skater emergency given a major welcome by Jamie's Got a Gun, but Jamie Got a Gun is going to the penalty box. Skater emergency calling it wisely, not before collecting 3 more points. 178, 163, 10:56 left on the clock here.
This is definitely exciting roller derby. If you're just tuning in, this is Montreal Roller Derby's first ever junior roller derby tournament, with the Rhythm and Blues from Montreal playing the Toronto junior roller derby team, the Apocalyptic Chicks.
These two teams did face off, I believe, in Toronto.
Last year they faced off in Toronto,
year.
but this is the first ever match here in Montreal for the juniors. The juniors have been around since 2011.
Forearm major to Claude El Paso. So another power jam for Toronto. However, on the forearm major for Mozilla. So we're going to have a jammer swap here.
Here comes the musical chairs in the penalty box. Toronto jammer takes the seat. Montreal jammer stands, and the Montreal jammer is released.
And the Toronto jammer should be released shortly as well. El Paso is facing a 3 wall of purple. Gets out first, that's her opening pass. Not lead. And Mozilla is being held up by Crash Trooper.
Crash Trooper up front really being a pain for the Toronto jammer right now.
And Claude El Paso has 5 points. 183, 163. And Jamie's Got a Gun is giving all kinds of trouble to Mozilla, along with Crash Trooper, and allowing Claude El Paso to collect another 5, choosing an inside lane. It looks like Toronto cleared the lane for her. She'll take the 5.
I don't think... I think she just kind of opened a door there and just ran right through.
Yep.
Honestly, that was...
Yeah. And Mozilla finally out.
Oh, looks like the Montreal jammer is being sent out for a back block major, so...
El Paso has a 5-second power jam here, but Mozilla, as it ends, probably picks up 5. Picks up 5. So Toronto will start on the power jam here. 195, 168, 8 minutes left.
This is definitely exciting roller derby.
195, 168 for Rhythm and Brews. So power jam for Toronto, and I believe that's Misfit who will be jamming.
I don't care what kind of roller derby it is. If it's men's, if it's women's, if it's flat track, bank track. With a score like this, it's definitely exciting roller derby.
Misfit is lead jammer. Coming up on scoring already, and she is skating with lots of fire.
Misfit out there skating on a post for Toronto right now. She scores a quick 5-point grand slam. Toronto doing a really good job of maximizing on this power jam, isolating one of the blockers from Montreal, forcing him to the inside, forcing the outside, and opening up those lanes with a jammer who's just doing laps at this point.
Yeah,
I don't even think she's really putting any effort into what she's doing. She's just chugging along and doing laps, and I mean...
A full box for Montreal as the jammer is about to return, but Misfit does get another 5 and closing the gap here, 195 to 188. 7 minutes left.
7 minutes left, folks. If you're not as excited as we are right now, as excited as this crowd is right now, this is definitely amazing roller derby to watching. I mean, you're watching the future of Toronto and Montreal roller derby right now, and both teams are just doing a tremendous job out there.
And the current score, 195 to 193. 16 minutes, the crowd is going nuts over here. We've had a couple of exciting derby here in Montreal last night. A couple of close games between Montreal and Philadelphia, and here this morning.
Well, I think that's how we like to play up in Montreal. We like to keep roller derby exciting up here. And the Putin.
And yes, exactly. So skate of emergency is out first for Toronto and lead jammer. And looks like a possible cut. Nope. A beg for a cut, but
El Skeleto out for Montreal, but he is not their lead jammer. Just to say again, the Montreal team here is a men's and women's junior team. And they do have men and women playing.
And guess what? Skate of emergency calls it, and Toronto has come all the way back. It's now 197 to 195 for the Apocalyptic Chicks.
For those of you just turning in, Toronto was down by over 40 points at one point in this game at around halftime, and they have turned the tide right now, and they have taken lead 197-195 with just over 5 minutes to go in this historic moment here in Montreal, the first ever Montreal Roller Derby Junior bout.
And FBI and Roadrunner will be facing off. FBI was having good success in this matchup. At this time, Roadrunner is out first. FBI right behind her. Holy crap, we have ourselves a jammer race. Holycrap.ca, the world's most amazing breakfast cereal. Roadrunner coming up on the wall of purple. FBI using her own to plow through. Takes an inside lane. Gets 4. Do I see a thumb? Nope, 4. Roadrunner is the lead. Roadrunner collects her points, but FBI has a half-track lead on Roadrunner.
Montreal telling the jammer not to call it off, to keep going. Montreal trying to play smart right now, run down the clock and try and keep the score very close. Definitely a lot of strategy here. This is not just hit them up, rack them up, smack them up roller derby.
And Roadrunner decides to call it off before another pass. So looks like 2:05 for Toronto and 2:02 for Montreal. 4 minutes left on the clock. 18 jams complete here.
If you came to the game last night, you didn't come here today, you have no excuse to be here. If you're watching it online and you live in Montreal, you should definitely come down. You've got just under 4 minutes left to run down here. 3 points separate these two teams right now.
Yeah, just enough time to gulp down your last gulp of double latte. We have Misfit jamming for Toronto against Claudel Paso, and Claudel Paso is out first, lead jam. Misfit being held up at the back, finally finds the seam, and is out about a half track behind.
This crowd is going absolutely nuts. I mean, it's like the crowd that was here is the same crowd that was here last night watching the New Skids on the Block play.
Oh, and Claudel Paso is tripped up. Misfit's right behind her, and there's a collision. Misfit seems to cycle through.
Misfit comes through, and she gets 4 points. Claude El Paso is your lead jammer. She calls it up. She finally manages to break free of the pack, and she gets another 4 points. Just under 3 minutes left here.
Still a 3-point lead, so 2:09 for Toronto and 2:06 for Montreal. 2 minutes 51 left. Couple of blockers for Montreal in the box. They're fielding 3 on the floor. Well, one's taken out now.
El Skeleto jamming for Montreal. He finds the outside lane and manages to grab quick lead. Just a little bit over 2 minutes left here in this game. The Toronto jammer is stuck in the pack right now. The only 2 blockers on the track for Montreal. Number 70, Foxy Lady, doing an amazing job just holding back the Toronto jammer.
Hailstorm is finally out, but El Skeleto is going first, and we are having a lead change here. 4 points and calls it off, so 2:10 to 2:09. 2 minutes left exactly. So FBI is returning to the floor with a familiar matchup with Roadrunner.
Most of the crowd here, definitely a mix of a lot of roller derby players from Montreal to come watch this game, as well as the parents that are here to watch their daughters and sons play this great, amazing 1-point game.
And FBI is out first and lead jam. And Roadrunner right behind her.
I think it looks like Roadrunner is going to try and give her a little bit of a Catch up to her.
Crap, we have ourselves a jammer race to close this out. FBI is coming up on the pack first. Gets through. Roadrunner behind her. Collects the same amount of points. So we're just trading off here.
Roadrunner tries to speed up and try and catch FBI. FBI slowing down a little bit. I think she's trying to play smart, run down the clock a little bit so she can try and booty block, try and prevent the Montreal
on first and calls.
Oh! The Montreal Gamer gets hit out of bounds. FBI does manage to get all 4 points in that.
And I believe Montreal did not get any. It's currently sitting at 217, 214. The referees are discussing. Somebody's getting a cut track major, I believe. Oh, now the points have come up for Montreal. So 217 to 216 for Toronto. 2-point game, 22 seconds left on the clock.
Looks like an official timeout right here. The officials are in the middle. They're discussing what's going on right now. It looks like one of the Toronto blockers was sent to the box on a major track cut. And you've got 2 blockers from Montreal sitting in the box right now. Number 13, Roadrunner, and Janie's got a gun.
Well, they're sending Roadrunner to the box as a jammer, so she got a cut there at the end. That's what they were discussing with Divine Intervention. So here, Toronto will start with Misfit alone, finishing off on a power jam. So if you just get lead.
Misfit doing an incredible job today for Toronto, putting up a lot of points out there. If you turn her sideways, I think she kind of looks like a toothpick. But by the way she's going through, I mean, she's definitely on fire.
So a full box for Montreal.
Oh!
And Misfit is out lead jammer, so she controls this. Just needs to run down 15 seconds and they could get the win, but I don't need to attack here. But no, a low block major on Misfit.
Oh, no. Toronto's going to go to the box. Janie's got a gun, is free from the box. Montreal has 3 blockers on the track. Toronto has 4 blockers on the track. Roadrunner is waiting for the Toronto jammer to get up. But just remember that Roadrunner cannot be lead jammer because Misfit came out. She got lead, but then she was called on a major low block.
What a turn of events here.
Roadrunner needs to play safe right now, try and get through the pack right now. This is just her initial pass. This is not her scoring pass. The period clock has run out, but the jam clock is still going with 1:15 left. Roadrunner trying to get out. Toronto doing an amazing job just holding her back right there.
Misfit is standing already. Roadrunner is still in an initial pass. Misfit is coming out.
Misfit is coming out.
Oh, they're going for it.
Roadrunner is out. There is 54 seconds. The crowd is on their feet right now.
And Misfit is
out on another major track cut call. So Roadrunner's out there jamming unopposed right now. 3 Toronto blockers.
Misfit is being penalized, but is not realizing.
She manages to grab 5 points right now.
Misfit is going to the box. She didn't realize she got a major track cut there. So it's a power jam for Montreal. So 220 to 217.
Right now, Roadrunner has to play smart, play slow, and just kill the clock until this game is over. Montreal doing the sausage offense right now, the conga line. 12 seconds left on the clock right now. Montreal with 220, the apocalyptic chicks from Toronto with 217. 4 seconds left, 3, 2, 1. And that's the game, folks.
5 points still picked up by Roadrunner at the end.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was one hell of a roller derby game.
I think the final score here should be 225 to 217 for the Rhythm and Blues. And everybody going crazy, all the friends and parents and everybody running to the floor to get the high fives.
If you're just tuning in right now, you suck because you missed one hell of a roller derby game.
That's right. Well, you can always watch the replay, which will be available to you at the same price as this live game was. So how about that for a game? Rev, that was just the type of games that to wake up on a Sunday morning for.
Honestly, to tell you the truth, I couldn't tell the difference between watching this game today and watching the game last night. I mean, both teams, you can tell that are influenced by their big sisters, the WFTEA teams. because they employ a lot of smart strategy. They know when to play offense. They know when to play defense. They play smart. They hit smart. They're not just out there trying to kill each other. And both teams did an amazing job today. I mean, Toronto was down at one time for over 40 points. They managed to come back, grab a quick lead, but in the end, they didn't get it. The Rhythm and Blues came out ahead.
Yeah, that was some pretty good action this weekend here out of Montreal. And Montreal taking their double victory lap. And now the Apocalyptic Chicks out of Toronto taking their victory lap as well, because everybody's a winner in this sport. High fives all the way around.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at the future of roller derby here right now. This is the future of roller derby for Toronto. This is the future of roller derby in Montreal. Some of these girls only 11 years old, some of them 17 years old. They just did an amazing job today. It's such a great thing to watch this morning.
I'm not sure if they have MVPs or not. Sort of can't make out what's being said on the loudspeaker.
Well, I think there's definitely going to be a lot of fruit punch and cake at the after party. I don't know how much alcohol is going to be involved, but there
is Tank on that team.
There is Tank on that team. But Tank is the father of El Skeleto, so I know he's a smart father, so he probably won't be drinking and driving, but I'm sure that he will have plenty of fruit punch and cake.
So there should be, I believe FLQ is out there trying to get an MVP selection from either side. So it looks like the updated score is 226 to 217. See what happens, when the rankings start in junior, But right now it's, I believe Montreal has taken both contests versus Toronto. This much tighter score. See, Tank is running around trying to gather his players as they're all out hugging their parents and relatives, taking photos.
Chugging soda. Shotgunning sodas.
So FLQ desperately trying to find out who will be their MVPs. Mouthy has selected hers for Toronto. And Homer trying to get his team to select who they chose as MVP for the Toronto Roller Derby. So here we're going to get the selection of the MVPs as chosen by either team. Maybe we can get a zoom in on FLQ there, El Kaboom. And the Toronto Roller Derby skater is Skater of Emergency, and she's awarded a bag of, holy crap, the world's most amazing breakfast cereal. Sejal smiles, taking photos. And for Montreal, Roadrunner also being given a bag of, holy crap, the world's most amazing breakfast cereal. May as well start these kids healthy early. So with that being said, Rev, I think we can wrap this up.
Yeah. I think that's all right.
That sounds good to me.
For those of you turning in, you suck.
Yep, if you're just tuning in, yep, you suck.
Watch the replay. It was definitely some very, very exciting roller derby. This is the Rev in Montreal.
And I'm Dr. Johnny Caput, along with the voice of Alex, who's on the chat board, and El Kaboom, who's on the camera, who's currently going to zoom it out. And you were watching another broadcast of Canuck Derby TV live from Montreal. So see you later, everyone.
Ciao.